Knights of the Medieval Era by Nathaniel Carson. Have you ever wanted to be a knight? Today we are talking about the life of a knight. It was one of hard work and luxury. We are going to take a deeper look into the process of becoming a knight and what it was like. The life of a knight is one of luxury and peril. The first and the last. The first knights were formed in the 8th century during the reign of Charlemagne. The last knight was Franz von Sickingen in 1481. He led the Knights' Revolt in the early period of the Reformation. He was known as the last knight. How do you become a knight? Most people dreamed of becoming a knight. It was one of the few ways a peasant or low-ranking person could raise their status in society. At the age of 7, a boy's parents, if they had the money, could send their boy to become a knight. Most boys that were sent to become knights were sons of a knight, a lord, nobleman, wealthy merchant, wealthy people from the church, or the rare occurrence of a wealthy peasant. At the age of 7, your parents sent you to a knight, lord, or king's household, where you became a page. Pages served meals, cleaned clothes, maintained weapons, and carried messages. While working for the knight's household, they learned to read, play music, good manners, and trained to fight with other pages using wooden shields and swords. He would start to learn how to ride a horse using no hands and using a lance. A page would become a squire around the age of 14 years old. A squire's new tasks were taking care of the knight's horses, cleaning the knight's armor and weapons, accompanying the knight to battle, and trained by the knight to fight with real weapons. Squires had to be strong. They practiced horsemanship, jousting, and combat from the saddle. You were a squire for 5 to 6 years. Dubbing ceremony. At the age of 21, if the squire proves that he is brave and skilled in battle, he will go to the dubbing ceremony to be knighted. At the dubbing ceremony, a knight, lord, or king will take his sword and place it on his shoulder. The new knight will take the oath to honor and protect his king and church. He would be given a pair of riding spurs and a sword. What was the life of a knight like? The duties of a knight. They were professional armored cavalry warriors bound by honor. They were elite fighters, bodyguards, or mercenaries for a lord. They took care of his lord's land. In war, they protected the lord, the land, and the people. They provided trained soldiers for the king and kingdom. The main role was to protect the king and the kingdom. To be chivalrous. Accusation of Wealth. The knights worked 40 days a year for a liege lord. When knights conquered a town, they were given grants to take land and pillage whatever they wanted. They could also receive money or precious items. They also made money through knight tournaments. At the very least, they would get their opponents war horses, which were very expensive. The knight's free time. They did jousting tournaments for training. They trained with weapons to improve their skills. Knights kept physically fit. They groomed. They went on hunting trips and hawking with their lord, friends, family, and servants. Archery, bowling, dice, hammer and axe throwing, and wrestling. Training pages and squires, trained in horsemanship, inspecting the estate. William Marshall was born in 1146. His father was John Marshall, a French custodian of Newsbury Castle. King Stephen laid siege to Newsbury, forcing John Marshall to give his 6-year-old son as a hostage for peace negotiations. King Stephen put William into a catapult and threatened to fling him into the wall if John didn't agree. John didn't care. King Stephen couldn't bring himself to do it and made William a royal ward. He became a chamberlain of Normandy Military Academy to become a knight. He was dubbed a knight at the age of 20. He excelled in tournaments, capturing a total of 500 knights. In 1168, he went back to real warfare to fight the Earls of Salisbury, Queen Eleanor of Aquitaine, wife of King Henry II, noticed William's victories in the tournaments. Queen Eleanor made him tutor-in-arms to her young son King Henry, associate king to his dad King Henry II. This is when William's journey of a knight sprung into action. In his journey, he was a knight under King Stephen, King Henry II, young associate King Henry, and King Richard, King John. In the last 2 years of his life, he ruled as a regent for King John's 9-year-old son, King Henry III. William fought in tournaments, wars, crusades, civil wars, led in the absence of kings, and gave his support to the barons when they were under threat. He married Elizabeth de Clare Harris to the 2nd Earl of Pembroke, becoming one of the richest men in England. He designed his castles in the form of the ones in the Holy Land. William had to protect his assets when King John lost a war and needed money to fight back. He was essential in the Magna Carta, going through which lessened the power of the monarchy. At his death, May 14th, 1219, he was invested as Knight Templar and interred at Temple Church in London. The Marshal, also known as the Greatest Knight. There are 2 ways to become a knight: by going through the proper training process and proving yourself in battle. The second way would be to join the army and prove yourself worthy. To become a great knight took tenacity, intelligence, and leadership skills. Tournaments were an important part of a knight's life. It ensured wealth, entertainment, and training. One of the greatest honorable knights, William Marshal, could not bring himself to kill an unarmed man, so he said, "Indeed I won't. Let the devil kill you. I shall not be the one to do it." Thank you for your time.